Wow-wee. How's it going, everybody? Nicky D coming at you live, man, yet again. I know, man, it feels like I'm doing one of these, feels like I'm doing a travel video like every week, but it's really not that true. It's just I'm sporadically uploading them, okay? Yeah, so we're in Banff. We're in Calgary, in Alberta. Yeah, man, so I'm here for a couple days. I'm just doing a very quick, long weekend, Labor Day weekend getaway where I'm just going out for a few days. This is part one. I'm gonna stitch in all three parts, but I'm just gonna do a part for each day, talk about how things have been going, and I figured we'd start here. So as you can tell, I'm kind of just getting into the lay of the land. We're walking down to the town of Banff. I tried parking a car, which I'll talk about here in a minute, but I tried parking a car. I honestly had just no idea. Like it just looked like chaos to try to park. And I was like, you know what? My stay is pretty close. So let's do that. So there we are. Yeah, man. Yeah, so the videos that you saw before with like Paris and London, they'll all be, I haven't actually published the London videos of yet. I'm waiting like a week in between each one. They were literally like back to back. They were just like the next day. You know, it'd be like 3 days in Paris and then right to London. But I'm just sporadically trying to give it a little time before, because I know people are like, enjoy your trip. It's like, that was a month ago. This is Labor Day weekend. So yeah, so the first flight was after work. So I worked all day on Friday, well, all day, but like most of it. And then just shipped out a little early, you know, confirmed it, was like, yeah, cool, all right. And yeah, hit up the plane. And not gonna lie, not a great time. But I got a cheap flight. So I didn't realize with Porter, so think Canada, Porter. So you can't get an online boarding pass anymore with the basic flex ticket, I think it's what it's called. And the only way to get it is to upgrade, which I forget how much it is, but you gotta upgrade, obviously. And then you get the ability to get an online boarding pass, because my whole thing is what you see on my back is everything I've got. It's one small backpack. It literally, this backpack is personal item size. It fit in the size there, so that's all I brought. Just enough, right? That's it. No more, no less. I literally didn't even bring a towel, which I'll talk about in a minute. And anyway, but that being said, yeah, so you can't do that. So normally I just walk in with the boarding pass, I go right to security, and I'm done within like 10 minutes. And it's actually a beauty, because you have everything on you. But yeah, not the case anymore. So I was kind of upset. And I had to like race to get to the bridge to get over there quicker, because you just never know how the lines are going to be. So they actually force you to go up to an attendant and get a boarding pass printed. Not even the kiosk will count, as far as I know, which I just find really puzzling. But I think it's the idea that they're going to try to size my bag. Like they're going to be like, hey, we can get them a little more money. So there's that. Okay. Flight was a connection through Montreal, as I always do, with an hour. I literally got to my hotel at like midnight. That sucked. But I learned something since my last travels, right, that I did for like 2 weeks. The first night, I should probably get a hotel, because I'm just telling you, like, if you've been to hostels, you just know the idea that you're never going to have a room by yourself, more than likely. I did one night in Paris, actually. But like, you're just almost never going to. So the peace and mind of that, a good comfy bed, you know, all of the above, it's like, yeah, okay, you know. Like you get a breakfast. Like they gave me stuff this morning. Before breakfast, they just gave me food anyway. And they're like, hey, here you go. There's a sub, you know, there's a muffin. There's like, awesome. But yeah, so I got in pretty late. It was funny too. I picked up, just check this out, one sec. We'll flip the old camera here. Just so you can see what I'm talking about. Look at that. And it just gets more impressive as we get closer. You know, I know you just don't want to see me the whole time. I'm kind of ranting and raving, but I'm going to try to keep the parts not super long, but this is the intro part, and I feel it'll be the longest. Yeah, man, so no, I got an Uber driver because I just wasn't in the mood, so I picked up an Uber. Buddy was just not interested. I cannot tell you, man, how many times I get so annoyed with Uber, where I'll be at the terminal, like gate 3, but it'll actually be like I need to be at the arrivals terminal for some reason, so I have to go back upstairs, and he's waiting downstairs, and that happened again, where he's like, where are you? And I answered him, and he's like, oh, well, it says you're here. And I was like, okay, I'll have to try to get up there. It's like 2 minutes, you know. And I learned through Vancouver, because I remember I gave the Uber driver like cash because I felt bad. And then I found out that they just charge you. So I was like, okay, well, I'm not paying him a penny then. And I got up there, and I was like, yo, how's it going? And he's like pointing to the phone, and he's saying that he's been messaging me. but he's showing that I responded to him. And I was just like, yeah, I responded to you. And he just like didn't really say anything. And I was like, okay, like, can I have the ride then? Or what? I literally, I think it was only 2 minutes, you know, that it took me to get up there. And I just didn't respond instantly when he messaged because I was trying to find his freaking car. So yeah, it was a pretty quiet 30-minute drive in an Uber. And yeah, so that being said, I do have a hotel on the way back, which is actually right by the airport because my flight is like 7 a.m. So that's really early, but I don't think I liked that evening, man. I was like falling asleep and trying to hold it together. Yeah, so we'll talk about the interesting part. So this morning I did the War Museum. So it's more of like well, not a war museum, it's like a military museum, but I'm pretty sure I like shoulder surfed into a tour. I didn't even realize it. So I went up before they opened and was just looking at stuff, and there was like 10 people kind of gathered, but like in the parking lot, and I heard like a staff member's like, all right, everyone this way. So I just kind of followed them. I didn't say anything. Like I was just like, okay, like I just assumed they were people like me. They were there early. So I just followed them, and yeah, I literally got a whole tour. I got like a private tour of this museum of a couple rooms, but they let us like see some guns, like some old guns, you know, like you know, you get like an MP40 and you get to hold it and stuff. And I was like, all right, this is pretty badass, you know. So yeah, I don't think that was included in the general admission ticket, is all I'm saying. And I mean, the fact that I just got that was kind of wild. Like, I totally didn't belong. I don't know what the group was. Like, I don't know if they were like booked through TripAdvisor, if they were military. I have no clue. But like, nobody said anything. The hosts were cool. Like, they just didn't. All right, I was asking them questions and stuff, and I was learning. I was like, this is cool. Yeah, I normally don't bother. Like, if I'm at a museum and there's a tour, like, I'll stand in the corner and listen. But I just straight up went with them. And at one point, like pretty early in, we went into like the atrium, and they were like, all right, like, and he like singled me and like 8 other people, and he's like, yeah, so you guys will come with me over here. And I was like, all right then. If anybody says anything, I'll be like, that was the host, dog. I didn't say a word. I didn't want to argue him. Who am I? And yeah, so that being said, yeah, I did rent a car. So I actually rented it through Turo. I've never used it before, but it's so far so good. I mean, nice little 2012 car. The thing is, you can tell I'm used to a car like an 09 that might not be as responsive, like an 09 Civic. Sorry, you know, just keep doing this. Look at that, man. Look at the mountain. I'm going up Sulphur Mountain with the gondola. That's tomorrow night. I'll talk about future plans as well, but I might just do that every day. This part's probably going to be like 10 minutes, and then I think the other parts I'll try to keep down as low as possible. But it's still going to be a long vlog. You guys like hearing me talk, right? I think I do. I don't know about you guys, but I do. But yeah, the car rental, so far so good. So the whole idea was just like drive in and then drive out kind of thing. Because again, I'm only here a couple days. I literally left Friday night and then I leave Tuesday morning. So it's a pretty quick trip. So I'll talk about what's on the go, because there's actually not a whole lot if you think about it. Very, yeah, very quick, but that's the way. So that was so far today. Then it was to get to Banff, which the drive up was immaculate. And now it's get downtown. We're just gonna cruise around, get some grub, check out some shops, you know, just take it easy. I was gonna do another museum, but again, the parking just looked abysmal and I didn't want to mess with it. So, well, there's that. So yeah, so tomorrow is going to be the Lake Louise, Lake Marine Day. I did get a shuttle ticket. They were gone in about 2.5 minutes. It was it was actually pretty impressive. So if you don't know, you can like pre-book all these tickets out pretty quickly, and that's a lot of the tickets. And then like they do last minute reservations, because you can't actually, you can, but you can't drive to Lake Louise. You cannot drive to the other one, but you can drive to Lake Louise, except the parking is gone by what Reddit tells me about 5 something in the morning. 6 o'clock, it sounds like it would be hard. You'd be hard pressed to get a spot, and even 5 is apparently difficult. And so, and it's $37. Parks Canada does a shuttle many times throughout the day, and it's $11 after tax, and it gets you a shuttle to both legs and back. And I managed to scoop one up 2 days before at 11 a.m. my time, but 8 a.m. like local time here. They post the tickets, and again, within about 2 minutes, by the time I loaded, made an account, like purchased the ticket, because it holds it for you, and made the account and like purchased the ticket, they were all gone. Like just for the day though, like just for the Sunday. So yeah, so I'm doing that, and I'm doing the hikes around that area, so it'll be a pretty full day. I have the DJ Pocket in auto mode, because I hate when I have to keep cutting the parts to like adjust it. So if it's really dark right now, because it looks like it is through the shades, deal with it. deal with it. But anyway, so that's basically tomorrow and the gondola. The next day we check back out of the hostel, so we're out of there, and yeah, and then we're on the road. I'm doing a bunch of hikes. I'll talk more about them in that part. And then we're gonna shoot the car back at about 8 p.m., Uber over to the hotel, try to get an early night's sleep. Might hit the casino. I'm thinking that, actually. I think I'm actually staying very close to the casino. And, well, you know what they say. Man's got to eat. So we'll see if we can score some dough. I absolutely doubt it, but I think it could be a fun time. And then we get out of here. So it's just a taste, you know? It's a couple hikes. Yeah, it's probably like 4 trails I'm doing in total. The 2 lakes, and then like a little bit of just Calgary, but I kind of just avoided downtown. I'll just try to end quickly here on the hostel. So yeah, I got checked in. It's parking's there included. I got checked in an hour early. They didn't care. You can pick whatever bunk you want. I got a 4 dorm one, and it was just the bottom bunk, and it has a fan by it. And I was like, okay, this is meta. They've got everything that a hostel should have and that they normally don't have. There's like a cafe there. There's a kitchen, you know. There's open windows. You'd be surprised. There's showers right outside my room. It's like they give me a towel. Like, again, if you've been to a hostel, if you know, you know. So far, though, I think we're on to a good track. And like I said, we're kind of improvising a little bit. Yesterday, when I got to that hotel, I was feeling pretty rough. But I think we'll be okay. Anyway, part 2. Wow, guys, part 2. We're in a gondola. Didn't expect to make the video here, but we'll talk about it. So I'll try not to be long, but I'm trying to distract myself. I don't really like heights. I'm okay with them, but this thing was like wobbling in the beginning, and I'm not gonna lie, I was a little scared. So I'll cut the camera. Let's get the view. You don't want to see me. You want to see the view. Look at that, dude. That's pretty sweet. So we're going up Sulphur Mountain. I read online that people were not like a fan of the company, but I mean, like, I don't know, dude. Come on, look at that. There's like $80 for this thing. Like, obviously, I'll show footage when we get up to the top, but I'll talk about what's going on first, and then I'll just assume that the view was cool. Oh, there's like, I'm not going to show it. There was like sneakers in the tree. Yeah, so it's like $80. I got it on Viator, which was pretty good. And like, oh fuck, there's like a rodent down there. I think I just saw a fox or something. Yeah, so just talk about the day. So I did Lake Louise though. And again, I know the first part of this was kind of long, so I'm going to try not to make this too long here. But I'm genuinely trying to distract myself any way possible. And I was like, okay, I'll make a video. You can tell I'm a little scared. A little scared. Yeah, and I thought I needed a party of 4 here, and they were like, no, you're good. And I just got in. It's like, all right, dope. Lake Louise. So yeah, I drove down, and then I had the Parks Canada shuttle. I think I mentioned the first part. I scooped up a ticket. Really luckily, I got the ticket. Those apparently go like hotcakes, and yeah, it was wobbling there. Sorry, it's normal, but to me, it's just like, what the f, right? I didn't want to look around. But I'm literally holding on to the handrail. Lake Louise is good though, man. Lake Louise is really, really good. I could see if I had just done a ticket to be like one of the private companies that's like, okay, we're gonna book you a ticket and you're just gonna go look at it. Yeah, the wobbling is driving me insane. Again, perfectly normal, but freaks me out. But yeah, so it's like, okay, you're gonna go look at it, and it's like, okay, cool. I would have been there like 45 minutes. That, I'm gonna be honest, like same as Lake Moraine. So I did both because I like with Parks Canada you get the connector shuttle, so you get both parks. And I mean, I kind of milked some time. Like I kind of was just like sitting there and like just enjoying the view for like an hour, just doing nothing. But I think that's like part of me doing this trip is like, and I think I talked about this a bit in the first part, is I'm just trying to get comfortable. I'm trying to get comfortable right now as well with just doing things like that. Like I don't have to be running around to the next objective every time. It's like I can just sit back, you know, and I can kick my feet up and take it for what it is and relax, you know. And that was difficult, but I did it. That being said, though, I did a hike, and this is where I'll show probably a lot of footage. So I did a hike around. I did a few hikes, but I did one in particular that I thought was really, really good, of the 6 glaciers. And I mean, dude, it's immaculate. Like the amount that you see. I'm actually almost there. The amount that you see is insane. Well, I'll cut the video by the time I get there. That'd just be awkward walking off and like making vlogs. Yeah, the amount you see is insane, dude. It looks so cool. Supposedly, it's certain times of the year there's like an avalanche warning, which is a little crazy to think of, like during the winter. But again, immaculate footage. Almost any point that I walked and like would look somewhere, I would want to stop and be like, that looks cool. You just can't make this shit up. Try not to swear in my videos, but I have to let that one out. It's just so good. Yeah, it's so good. So, yeah, if I do any, I assume I'm going to do footage at the top. I mean, again, oh my God. Like, let's look at that. Like, yeah, I'm not going to lie. Like, I've been saying it this entire part. Yeah, I'm terrified. Like, I'm getting a little bit more calm as we get up. I don't know how the look back, the ride down is going to go, looking down at that, but I got to realize that, again, like millions of people are using these things. They're obviously safe. It's just me being a wimp. So the next part, we'll talk, like, and that was mainly the whole day, by the way, too. If you're curious of like what else I did, that was pretty much it. I just did some hikes, mainly the 2 lakes, and then we're doing the gondola. So pretty easy day. Last day, I'm kind of debating a few things because I have to get my car back a little early, and then I want to get to the hotel. So yeah, I got to get the car back for 8, and I think they're pretty finicky on like what time you're there. Like I can't be late, so it's like naturally I want to be early, and it's like an hour and a half to get back. So yeah, I'm kind of cut out that way a little bit of time. So the plan, and again, we'll do hopefully, this has only been about 5 minutes. This is pretty good. I was really nervous I was going to make this like super long, and this is surprisingly pretty good. Yeah, I'm thinking the zoo. We'll do some hiking. I have a particular hike in mind, Johnson Canyon. That looks pretty good. We are just about there. Apparently you can hike this. Fuck that. Yeah, and then there was something else I was going to do, maybe a casino, like just a couple things that, nothing too crazy, but the zoo apparently is pretty good. I'm a little 50-50 on zoos, but we'll hit it up. So I'm going to get to the top, and hopefully I've inlaid footage at some point so you can see what has scared me and if it was worth it. I'm like, seriously, I know I've said it like 50 times. I was fucking terrified. All right, what's up, everybody? Last part. Here we go. Final day. So yeah, I'm just waiting to return the car. I've got about 45 minutes. I got to jump the car off, and then we are getting an Uber to the hotel. And then again, we're up at 4 o'clock in the morning to make sure I'm there early enough, which I'll talk about. I think I talked about in the beginning, the first part, where like I got the flex tickets, and now you can't do the boarding pass anymore. Just ridiculous. But I want to talk about the gondola last night, because it was better than I thought on the way down. I know I looked terrified, and just how today went, and some funny stories. So yeah, so the gondola on the way down was a lot better. I sat like looking the way that it would go down, like I was facing the direction, but the seat was kind of like blocking it, so I didn't really see a lot. And I think like maybe, you know, I was like, okay, I'm over this. So yeah, it wasn't as terrifying going up, but I knew that I was like, what the H, right? I just wasn't sitting well with it. I thought it was okay up top. Yeah, I didn't really care. Like you know, the sun was kind of blocking some of the valley that you couldn't see. And the other view was great, but it's just like, I don't know, man. Like it just, you know, I got a little discount on it, but it was like $90. It's like, that's $90 for that. It just seems a little extreme. Talking about today, so I did, not all of it, but I did most of the hike anyway, of Johnston Canyon, which is really, really good. It's really known for just, you know, a quick, you know, hour and a half part of it, which is like, and there's still more of it obviously, but about an hour and a half of it of just waterfalls. So again, footage up on the screen, and immaculate. I wouldn't even really call it a hike. It kind of is and it kind of isn't. It's more of a walk in the beginning, and then it kind of, if you go up to the flats, it is then kind of a hike, but still like a relatively easy one, or, you know, kind of beginner level. But yeah, overall great, man. Yeah, the thing that was funny was I talked to a couple locals, and they had told me that there's usually a queue, because in the first waterfall, the lower one, there's like a little cave you can kind of go into. It's like, it's not super big or anything, but you could get a couple people like abreast easily, probably like 6 people easily, and maybe 7, right, most. And yeah, and you just get a good closer view, you know, and it's cool, and it's like, okay, that's nice. Yeah, so I when I first went in, it was early. Like, I mean, it was maybe 7:15, that's pretty late for me, like for my vacationing. But I was like, I'll talk about the hostel in a minute. I have follow-up notes about that. But I went in and I had no problem. Like there was like 5 of us in there. It was no problem. And when I came out of the hike, which was like 10, yeah, so I did like 3 hours. So I didn't do all the way up because that's about 4 to 5. But yeah, when I came back, there was probably like 60 people. And again, if I have footage, we'll put it up if I remember to put the footage. Like I filmed the line because I was like, this is just disgusting. And it's exactly what I had just done like 2 hours ago for nothing, right? Like I walked right in. And now there's all these people sitting in a lineup trying to do the exact same thing that I already did, which is just like kind of amusing to me. Yeah, the hostel, just a quick note about it. I just thought it was like, I just like telling my stories, right? It was 3 people who were in there and they all came back at about 2:30 in the morning. And like, I crashed at like 10, right? Like 9:50, I think I was asleep. So yeah, they're all in there at 2. The lights are off, but like, they're talking, like kind of whispering, but still pretty loud. One of the girls has her like phone light on and it's like right in my face. Like quite literally, she was like by my bunk talking to the person above me. And I just couldn't believe it. Like that's how people operate. Like when I left in the morning, cause I left at like 6:30. I was very quiet. I don't mumble to people. I don't turn on my flashlight, I get out of there, and I try to be respectful, to the people, but I guess they were trying to be respectful, but I don't know, man. Like, you're going to come in at about like 2, 3 in the morning. And like, come on, give me a break, So yeah, that was rough. I didn't get a great sleep and I'm really hoping I get it tonight because I have a hotel and I'm really looking forward to it. And then final note is, or 2 things. So I did the zoo. Now I'm going to be honest. I'm normally not a zoo person, not 100%. Okay. I loved it. That was really good. That was probably one of the best zoos I've seen, if not the best. I would not make an argument there. So it is a bit of money. It's $48 for the ticket, $13 for parking, so just $60. Yeah, that's a lot. I spent, now normally, like if I go to like a museum, it's like 2 hours and I'm like, okay, I've seen the museum. Unfortunately, this part actually might be slightly longer. So this video overall is probably going to be like 20 something minutes because the first part was like 10. The next one was like 4.5, and now it's probably going to be like 8 minutes because I want to talk about this real quick. Yeah, I spent about 4 hours there, give or take, and it was excellent. Like I was moving the whole time, looking at things. The enclosures are really big. Like I mean, you'd have to walk all the way around one to try to like and you had to go like it'd be like 3 minutes of like walking around, and you're like, wow, okay, that's actually half decent size. So it just seems better. And the animals look like they're getting some good care, which is nice. They have a good a variety too. I'm not gonna name every single one of them and then put the video up, but I mean they've got giraffes, they've got the hippopotamus, they've got wolves, there's a good mix. A lot of critters, just a lot to look at. So if like, again, I like being visual, I do enjoy visual. I like walking in, looking at some things. There was one that was really cool. You get to go in with like lemurs and you get to just walk in with them, like into their pen, like in their enclosure. And they'll just like, and like they'll have like security and they're just like, okay, we got one coming, guys. Everybody just stop moving, please. And we just like let them go about their business. So you don't disrupt them. But you get to kind of like walk in and like look around. You get a closer look, and it was pretty cool. Very happy with that. And the final thing I'll mention was I did a casino, because you always have to do a casino. So I did like a casino resort. This is a really funny story. I go in there with like $20. That's my rule of thumb. You play 20, you lose 20, you walk out of there. You don't ever put $1 more in. So I went up to a couple machines. I went up to about 2 or 3 machines, and it was like 88 cents. And I was like, okay, whatever. Like, normally I like to play like 35 cents. So I was like, all right, whatever though. And I played a couple, and I mean, one machine was like, lights were going off, and then I was like, I didn't win anything. So I was like, assuming I was just making the jackpot higher. I have no idea. So I barely won a penny out of any of those. Like that was pretty quick. It was probably like 5 to 10 minutes. But what I'll do is I'll play like a few dollars of an interval, and then I'll like cash out and go to another machine, play a few dollars, and I'll walk around. So it kind of extends the time. Anyway, I get down to like 480 left, right? So it's like, okay, like, probably not much going to go on. But there was a machine that caught my interest. It was a sevens game. So if you don't know what I mean by that, it's normally like, like... Okay, recording apparently stopped because the SD card was slow. We're going to try again. So I think I was at the poker part about the machine. I'll try to wrap it up quick then. Yeah, so it's got the 5 anyway. So I was like, okay, and I've seen these types of games before. I was like, I want to play it. It wouldn't take my coupon. So I was like, that's weird. And I went to another machine like around the corner and it worked. And there was a 75-cent coupon. So I took it. So I had $5. I went and cashed them both out. And like, she just gave me the 5 and like a couple quarters. And I was like, okay. Went back, put the $5 bill in, and it worked. And I was like, okay. Now, for some reason, it wasn't like what I thought it was. I thought it was lower spins because it said 25 cents. It was $1.25 to play all the lines. I think I did that like 2 times. I played a couple 25-cent spins. I got down to like $2, and then I just went, okay, $1.25 again, and hit yes. And it got 5 plums and won $60. $62.50 is what I went up to. I decided just because I can, I played the $2.50, so it's just like 2 spins. Nothing happened. Immediately cashed out. I went right back to the same girl. I was like, I'd like to cash out again, please. And she gave me 3 20s this time, and that was friggin' hilarious. So all in all, I won $40, and then mashed out on Dairy Queen because why not? Because I'm an animal. Yeah, so I think, sorry, there's just a, yeah, there's like, you might, I don't know, you can see him walking by now. That couple was like right there, and I could just see the guy, like I could see him in the corner of my, just like looking right in at me, like, what's this guy doing? So I think, yeah, I think with that, we're done, guys. That's it. So like I said, we're just hitting the hotel. There's not much to talk about there. Look up some smut, and we're gonna pop off, and we're gonna get out of here. The car rental, as far as I'm concerned, apparently in the app Turo, I just take a couple pictures showing the car. The guy's no washer fluid, so I was like, I can't clean the windshield, but whatever, deal with it. Yeah, and that's it. And honestly, pretty good time. $40, and like that did like 3 days. So, all right, thanks for watching, guys. I made the video too long as is, so we will end it there. Thanks for watching.